I have been told there's a little park up here somewhere. There it is. A little path leading to a park, bit of greenery. That's what we want. Oh yes, a park with a half a pint of piss on a bench. Perfect. This is Holmfirth, the village of last of the summer wine. All this classic Yorkshire stone I see everywhere. Oh, and the sun's coming out. Not bad. What a day to be alive, guys. Get yourselves out there. This is a flipping awesome spot. Got the daffs, the heads bobbing in the wind. More about to spring open here. Spring open. That's what we're talking about. Oh, I'm gonna have a seat right here if it's not too wet. Oh, come on, what a spot. Check it out. I'm just gonna talk. I'm not gonna think this through too much. I made a video the other day about being made unemployed at 55. And that it was tough, and that it was having an impact on me, and that life is tough out there when it's supposed to be getting a bit easier as you get older in theory, and that it doesn't necessarily. There's no guarantees, and that it's hard and it has an impact on you. Well, I made that video not thinking too much of it. I knew that I was in a bit of a dip, let's say, in life at that time, and I wanted to try and capture that. It struck a chord with a lot of you lot. Loads of you watched it, loads of you liked it, and so many of you actually made comments on it. That tells me that a lot of us have been in that situation. Anyway, amongst those comments was one particular comment that struck me this morning and gave me something to think about. One of the things I said in the video was that this is not on my main channel. I have another channel which I asked you guys to go and have a look at, and loads of you did. It was amazing of you. Thank you so much. It's called Scuzzy London. You can go over there on YouTube and have a look at that, where I'm trying to be a bit more structured. The point was, this was not supposed to be on my main channel, and somebody said, I think you're wrong. I think this should be your main channel. I think there are loads of men and people in this position in their 50s who want somewhere to talk about this sort of thing. I should talk more about my maybe life and employment status and where we are now, perhaps. And I thought, you might have a point, you know. I put myself out there. I exposed myself to the world of YouTube and all the different people out there, and you were all really good to me. So supportive and positive. And it made me think that maybe we do need an outlet, a bit of a mental health space where, you know, people can just talk and discuss about certain issues and bring things up and have a chat. Maybe things that have been on your mind for a while. And maybe I can spark a bit of interest and give you guys a few ideas and subjects to start discussing, and we can all talk about it together, perhaps. Could be a bit of a mental health boost, or a bit of a mental health space in a way, because we all know the problems and difficulties with that. People of our age, in our 40s and 50s, struggle to, you know, let our feelings out and let our feelings be known, and maybe we don't have anywhere to let it out. So I said that talking to you guys was a version of that for me, because although you're not there in person, you kind of are there in that community. Don't really like that word, but it is, kind of is a community, isn't it? Because you're there, you're listening, and you're commenting, you're getting back, and you've got positive things to say. So should we do more of that? What do you think? Right, a bit unlucky. Some guys with a pneumatic drill back there just started kicking off, so I've got to relocate. Working men, eh? Doing stuff, working. Oh, the irony. Right, I found a seat here on a rock. Just got to be careful of the holly bush between my legs. Don't want any mishaps, do we? What I thought is, I could bring up a few subjects from my past and see if they spark a bit of interest with some of you. Might work, I don't know. So here we go. Here's something from my past which I think I could have improved or done a bit better. And I'm just wondering whether any of you lot have things you look back on and thought, I could have done a better job of that thing. And maybe we can advise each other and advise perhaps any younger people that might be watching, you know? Give them a few pointers, a few tips. So I'll start us off. This is a little tale of where I think I went a little bit wrong in life, not drastically. I could have set myself up to be in a slightly better position than I am now. And things probably would have been a bit better than they are now. But I could have been in a much, much better place if only I'd have thought about it back then. Let's see if I can get this story right in one go. When I was in my late 20s, I quit my job. I'd had enough. It'd been bugging me for years. I wanted to go traveling. So I packed it in, put everything in place, was young and enthusiastic, and I hit the road and I went traveling. 2 years around the world, it was only going to be 1 year, turned into 2. Awesome time, met some of the best people ever, had a brilliant trip, came back, was all exhausted, and I thought, I know one bloke in London, I'll go and live with him. So that's what I did. And when I say live with him, slept on his couch for about 2 weeks. Anyway, I managed, got myself into an agency, got a job, found myself somewhere to live on my own, all within about a month or so, I think, and got stuck in. The job that I got was okay, it was a temp job, and coming from where I'd come from, I saw it as a step in the right direction. But the job turned out to be quite insecure, it was privately owned, and I never felt really confident there. So the mistake I made was hanging on in that job for too long, even when the writing was on the wall. And for some reason, I kept hanging on in there. And during that time, bailiffs turned up twice, all sorts of things went wrong. But I kept getting paid, so I just stayed there. It was silly, really. And that was one of the problems. Because this job wasn't very secure, I didn't feel confident enough to maybe attempt to buy a flat or something, or a studio. And that's what I should have done. And I kind of knew this all along. But that job, it got me going, but it also messed me up because I didn't have the confidence to buy somewhere. And eventually 10 years went by and I still hadn't done it. And I always asked myself, if I had bought that flat or got myself a studio, where would I be now? But instead what I did, I hung on in there, got into different flat shares and houses in London, and I made friends, and I just had a hell of a good time. I was going traveling, I was making friends, I was going out, drinking, partying, having fun, living the London life, having a ball, man. I wasn't really saving enough, and I certainly didn't want to commit to owning a flat or a bed sit or a property or something. And then I got another job, and the same thing happened again. Just kept on renting, kept on having fun. And then what? Another 10 years went by. So something like 20 years got lost of me just having a great time in and around London. But I often look back at that and think, what if I put some of that money into getting a flat, and that flat now, maybe I'd bought it for 150,000 or something, I don't know, let's say. What if I'd then done another stepping stone and got another flat or something and moved on, and now 20 years later, can you imagine if I'd have done that a couple of times, 2 or 3 times, that place, I could have got into a really good area, even accidentally without knowing it. And it could have been gentrified, and that flat might have been worth 6, 7, 800,000, I don't know. Could have been an amazing place, but I'll never know. And I always wonder what would have happened if I had done a move like that. I'll never know. I've done this for a while. So occasionally, probably more often than I should, I think back to that and I think, could I have done things better? Could I have made some wiser decisions back then? And how would it have impacted my life now? So my question to you is, have you got anything in the back of your mind that you wish you'd done slightly differently that might have impacted the course of your life and made it a bit better? I imagine it might be things like health choices, food choices, lifestyle choices, marriages, who knows, where you lived, jobs you took. Maybe it helps to talk about it. It's good for the old mental health. Helps to get it off your chest, get it out there, have an outlet. If you want to talk about it, if you want to let us know in the comments, it'd be really interesting to hear some different points of view on little things, little changes you might have done back then that could have made a difference. Maybe we can help some of the younger people, or some young people with thoughts or ideas or maybe people are out there a little bit lost, don't know what to do, and perhaps some of our advice coming together will give people a few clues, because in that other video, I had so many comments and so many things that I'd never thought of. Lots of you had ideas for career options for me and choices and ideas of things that I could do. keep fit and healthy, keep walking, you know, keep getting out into nature, in the woods, that sort of thing. Definitely, that's not going to change. Let's see if we can do something good, is it? So as a recap, the thing I regret is not taking advantage of my situation in London when I first came here, getting on the property ladder early and getting myself into a great position. I messed that up. All my friends, or lots of the friends that I made then, somehow all seem to have ended up coming out better than me. Either moving out, getting flats or houses elsewhere in the country. It's incredible. They all seem to have left London and done better than me. And I'm still the one left hanging on to the old ways, you know? Ah, man, I made some silly decisions there. What decisions did you get slightly wrong? Let's see if we can help the future generation. Let me know in the comments what your thoughts are. What did you get wrong? What would you do better? And can you fix them? Maybe you wanted to fix your health or your diet. You can still sort some of that out. You can get out there, you can walk like I'm doing. If you haven't got any close friends out there, I'm here if you want. Give us a chat. I'll help you out if I can. Or if not, I'll be the one putting myself out there. Somebody's going to put their face out there and say, I'm in a shit spot. What do you reckon, guys? Can you do anything for me? Can you help me out? I'm going to leave it there. Try to keep this a short video. Don't seem to be very good at those. I ramble a lot. Maybe we'll create a bit of community space for people in their 50s and 40s. I want to include you lot too. And we can all put things right. So I really hope some of this resonates with some of you. You feel obliged to put something in the comments and start a bit of a chat. And hopefully I'll hear from you there. See you in the next one, guys. Out for now.